live.
You're live.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm with my hot mess friend this morning. Her name is Bella, and she doesn't look like a hot mess right now, but she keeps looking around, and we've been working on some things consistently for the last few days. But you have that friend. We all do. The one where, like, you see her caller ID or his caller ID, and you're like, oh, I ain't got nobody got time for that. And that's this one a lot of times because she's worried about what is going on. She's worried about what's going on in her environment. She's worried about what's going on in with her leader. She's worried about her herd. She's worried about herself. She's just worried a lot. And every time she does something that is challenging, like learning something new, she's a very unconfident learner, doing new things, trying things that are uncomfortable for her because she's been told a lot of different stories about how a lot of different things should show up. And if you were told, you already are questioning yourself. And if you're told that you are wrong and you're wrong and you're wrong and no, that's not right either, and never having the opportunity to be right, you're like, I can't ever do anything right. And over time, you start saying, well, if I'm not doing it right, I must not be right. And then maybe you start to say, well, if I'm not right, maybe there's something wrong. And then you start saying, maybe there's something wrong. And so maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe what is wrong with me? And you start asking these questions. So when you have your Bella friend that is asking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I ever get it right? And they get stuck in their bucket. Dr. Joe calls it the jar. And right now she's like already wondering, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? Are we going to do those terrifying circles again today? So, how do you deal with a friend if that's like this? And how, if you are like this, do you engage with your friends? Because after a while, they're going to be like, you know what, Jen, you've been working on this problem and it's obviously a pattern, but you need to figure out your stuff. I'm here to support you, but I can't hear you tell me the same story and the same problem over and over and over. We got to figure out how to get a fix to it, right? So if you're the friend that's not the Bella, this is what you do. You hold space and you set boundaries. That's very simple to say, but you do need to hold space and set boundaries. So yesterday, if you watched my live from yesterday, see how she got, oh, don't get worried. Right there, she got worried. She's like, uh-oh, what is she going to ask me to do? Am I going to be okay doing it right? And in the beginning, you say every single thing you do is okay. You cannot do anything wrong. There is no such thing as a wrong answer. And when she starts getting confident about that, you can start moving in a way that gives her the space to solve her own problem and become her own puzzle solver. So we're going to go straight into our circles today, which is something that's really been scary for her, and see kind of where she's at. And horses, we say ride every stride. And on the ground, I'm watching every stride. I'm observing every single nuance of what she has going on. I don't want her to start picking up a trot. I don't want her to get nervous or worried. I don't want her to come in. I just want her to be okay. And in the beginning, number one, you got to make sure you get your friend okay. Now, you got to put here's your boundary, put a time limit on it, right? And that song from the Rembrandts, it may know whether it's a bad day, week, month, or year, right? I'll be there for you. That's what a good friend does. But they also don't put you in a position where they enable you. That was lovely, and she did it very calmly. And now that was a check. She broke through a pattern. She started to get worried when I asked her to back up, and then she figured it out on her own that, oh, just a couple of circles, and it doesn't have to be scary. When? Hang up the phone, right? Next day she calls you. She says, hey, I got to talk to you about those circles again. Okay, fine, but it's not going to be, um, we're not going to talk about the problem or the fear of the circle. We're going to talk about the solution of the circle. And a really good rule of thumb on that is 90% on the solution, 10% on the problem. Identify the problem and then handle it. So I want her to go this way this time. And I'm just going to allow again, let's see how she does. Head's nice and down. I don't want her to assume that I want her to go faster or do more, because that's what Bellas do. They're like, okay, well, that's not good enough. I have to do a trot. And so, no, honey, you don't have to hustle. Hustling is actually just going to wear you out. Yeah, it's like what like Van Wilder says, it's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but you don't go very far. So there's no reason for her to go out on this circle. So I just bring her in and say, that's okay. Let's just try it again. Right? So now we're looking at different solutions while still maintaining the boundaries. Now, I'm going to get to here in a second what to do if this is you, right? If this is you, if you're the friend that's always calling up with your circular problems, right? So now we go, wait a second, nope, not going to do that. We're going to interrupt the pattern here, but I'm not going to bring her in and go have a 2-hour Chardonnay lunch with her to talk about her problems with circles. We're going to give her a chance to over there. Maybe it's like, can you just be over there? See how she's already getting worried about what she's supposed to be doing? Because God forbid she stands still. And if you Bellas out there, you ones that are worriers and are wondering if your kids are in the right school, you have the right dry cleaner, you're going to the right dinner, you showing up for, did you bring the chicken? Do they eat chicken? Man, just be still for a moment. Even in the worst times of crisis, you can give yourself a few moments of stillness. If you don't got 10 minutes for yourself, you don't have a life. So we're going to give you a life back. Now, see, the minute I start talking to her, she gets worried. So now I'm not going to send her on that circle. I'm going to do something different. I might just walk up and go to her. Again, just interrupting the pattern and changing the subject. And with Bella's, they don't care if you change the subject. They're like, oh, they won't even notice that you changed the subject. But you get them out of their head about what it is that you're asking her to do. So now the conversation is terrifying about these damn circles, right? So there we go. Now I got a question that time. Let's see. Good. Even now she's like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Yes, you're good. You're good. You're good. You got this. You got this. And sometimes some unsolicited praise from you towards your Bella friend. Say, hey, I'm just thinking about you. So now we're going to interrupt the pattern, and we're going to go do something different and say, hey, I'm just thinking about you. I know things are hard. I'm here if you need me. And that's usually enough, right? That's usually enough. And that's all I did right there. I said, I know that's challenging, but you can do this on your own, right? That doesn't mean you don't help. And if they need help, give it to them if you can. But there is helping there's helping like a hand up versus a hand out. And what we're going to do is give her a hand up, not a hand out. If I wanted to give her a hand out, I would just walk over there and walk with her, right? And maybe that's what you have to do in the beginning, but that was better. Now she can be calm. Walking on a circle is a little challenging for her, obviously. So let's see if she can go by this time without picking up. I knew it. I knew she was going to have to. She can't get out of her head about these circles. So we're just going to say that's okay. But I spent less time and I did a smaller interrupt. It wasn't as big of a deal. She didn't fly around like the first two times. And she went 2 laps. So she's making progress. And as long as they're making progress, they'll get out of it eventually, right? They will get out of it eventually. One of my friends, because I had a Bella moment yesterday. We all do. Even if you're not a Bella, we have our Bella moments. And I was talking to her, and she was like, this is a conversation we have had more than once. We need to find a solution for this conversation so we don't have to keep having it. Because we don't want a groundhog day through our lives. It's what we do. We fall in love with our problems, right? And I made a decision yesterday about people that are in my life. They need to have high quality problems, right? I want to have people that have high quality problems. That was much better. So now I'll say, can you now just come in? That's it. Now we broke through that pattern. I helped her out a little bit. And I'm going to just try and get out of the sun right in my eyeballs. But she's still nervous about it. The circle still represents something scary, but that's progress, right? That was progress. And so if you are a Bella, number one, find your tribe. Find your tribe, find your Zen club. You know, that's why I created it, for people to come and understand how they can break through the stories that they tell themselves every day about why they don't have what they want. And that's what she's. I don't I can't do circles. Circles are scary. right? And so when you are this, find a tribe, find someone that will help you and not and help you up, not help you out. Does that make sense? So you have her and you're sitting there and you're talking to your friend and your friend says, "Hey, I don't want to talk about circles anymore." Be like, "Check. Pattern, repeat." We don't want to do shampoo, rinse, repeat on the pattern of talking about our problems, right? So number one, check. I recognize that I am repeating my problem. Number two, find ways to get support in the beginning that you can interrupt the pattern. Finding solutions to do something different today than you did yesterday. We have 80% of our thoughts are the same exact thought we had yesterday. And there's her sigh. And the way you do that is choosing a different behavior. And that's really challenging sometimes. Instead of picking up the trot or picking up the drink or picking up the whatever, you change your behavior. And then number three, celebrate like crazy. And every step of the way, even if you do something stupid, even if it's not, even if it's a terrible result, celebrate that you chose something else and then take another step back, like we talked about yesterday, and get more clarity. The clarity is really important when you think about changing your pattern, because when you change your pattern into something different that doesn't work, it's not because you are an idiot or you are a person that makes mistakes all the time. It's just that you don't have clarity about what it is that you actually want. Look how calm she is now. Look how relaxed she is now. What could I do with her now? A lot of different things. I want to stay with the circle topic because that's been what we've been working on. And if you notice, I just use the stick to just support her, right? So now I'm going to start engaging in circle pattern positive conversation. Everything is a pattern. It's an instance, a coincidence, and then an incident, a coincidence, and then a pattern right away. Once, twice, three times a pattern. So now I asked for that trot, and I'm going to do something a little different. That was lovely. Beautiful. That was good. Now we added in a little bit more, right? And started talking with her about something other than these flipping circles. Just a little bit of something to encourage her to, that's it, you got it. Be confident. All I care about with her is that she is confident as she tries new things. And the more she can learn when she's in a negative pattern loop, talking about her problem or problem or problem, take the initiative to find support, a coach, a mentor, a peer group, something to help her. A true friend. Careful with friends, though, guys, because your friends want you to feel good. They don't necessarily know how to help you solve your problems. So consider the source. Hiring a coach is a great idea when you're in a position like this. Now we're going to change things up. Very nice. Very calm. Good girl. Good girl. And look how easy this is for her now. After we just took that little bit of time to let her know that she doesn't have to be stressed out about making different decisions about the problem that she's had pretty much her whole life, right? And to go, look at that. And now we could come here and connect and celebrate, right? If you've done the fire walk with Tony Robbins, it's wipe your feet and celebrate. And that's what we'll do with her. And that's what I'll do with myself. And that's what I'll do with my friends that are in this hot mess place. So those few things, getting clarity, having boundaries, communicating, supporting, that's how you deal with them if you're that friend. And what I want you to do for yourself if you are this is look for those patterns and find someone that will support you the way I supported her. So go out today and do your circles. Make that choice. Find something inside yourself that you've been struggling with, that you've been saying, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, and flip the script in a way that will help you get clear about what you truly want in your life. You don't want pieces of paper with dead presidents on them. You want the freedom that those things give you. I mean, who has cash these days, right? But the only reason we want any of those things is because we want to do things with our lives that make us feel a certain way. And so far, anything new to her has been terrifying. new from a learning perspective. And now my vision has nothing to do with circles or dollar bills or anything. It's about building her confidence in herself so she can try new things and break out of the old patterns of the problems that she's become addicted to. Because our biggest addiction is not opioids, it's not alcohol, it's our problems. And we connect through our problems, we talk about our problems, we think about our problems, but we don't solve our problems when we're in a stuck space. So come out of that stuckness, reach out to someone, reach out to me even if you like, and come and experience the horses in a way that will interrupt the patterns that are not serving you so you can replace them and elevate to ones that do. So take that. I hope you have a beautiful Friday. I have some incredible people coming out to play with my horses today. And if you want to come and visit me, reach out. I would love to hear from you. I'm Jen Zoe. This is Bella. And I love my Bella friends. And believe in yourself, it will change your life.